welcome to Hawkesbury Regional Gallery Art Online. This week's instalment we will be making box puppets. How cool is this? All this is really simple. All you need is an instruction sheet which you can print off our website. This one's got 2 sheets, so make sure you print both of them. We will need a paper plate, paper cup. This one's actually has the brown wrapping around the outside, so I've just peeled it off. But if you've got a plain white one or any other colour, you can paint it anyway, so that's fine. We've also got a sheet of red cardboard. If you don't have any red cardboard at home, you can just use normal cardboard and actually paint it. That's fine too. We need a glass of water for our painting, some paintbrushes, some paint. We're going to need red and yellow paint, so we can mix some orange. I've got some masking tape or some glue, a pencil, a pair of scissors, and a black marker textile. Alright, let's get started. First step is we're just going to take our pencil and we're going to draw, if you have a look, a curve. That's going to be the chin of our fox. So you can see your paper plate has little grooves in it. So we're going to go to this one. Obviously every plate's going to be a little bit different depending on where you bought it. So you can see just that. And then up the top we're going to do another one on the same line, but not as big. So like that. So that one's a bit longer, that one's a bit shorter. And then what we're going to do next is draw some triangles, but this time it's going to go right to the outside edge. It's a little bit tricky when you're trying to draw over the bumps. And then try and match them up. This one's a bit wonky, I'll fix it up a little bit. And then for either side, see how we've got some points out here. So we're actually going to draw over the edge there a little bit, but not as far out as I had there for the ears. So even if you wanted to draw a little dot on each side to give yourself a bit of a guide, and see how I've made sure that they're nice and even. And then you're going to draw a line out to either side, like that. And then line it up with the bit you already drew. And then the other side. Super simple. Alright, next thing we're going to do is take our cup and just place it there. So see where the edge of the curve is? Just there. We're just going to put it on the edge, and I want you to trace around your circle like that. Now you can see I didn't draw that too dark. That's because we're actually going to draw a line just inside that. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit crooked. In and around. So it's just a couple of little millimeters, like so. Now the next part is we're going to draw our eyes. So if you look where your ears are, and using those, gauge where you're going to draw the circles for your eyes. So one there, one there, and then after that we're going to draw patterns on the face. So coming from just inside the eyes, and see how they curve around and go to just underneath your ears. So even if you want to draw the line coming from the ears first, just like that, and then it curves and comes just inside of where the eye is there, like so, like that. And then the next bit is to draw little triangles in the ears, like so. And there we go. So that's the drawing that we're going to do on this part first. We'll add to this one later on. For the moment, what we're going to do next is we're going to need to cut out that inside circle. Now, depending on how thick your plate is, you might need to get someone to give you a little bit of help with this. Let's see how we go. So first of all, being very careful not to hurt my finger on the other side, I'm just going to make a little hole like that. and then cut to that line. Almost like making pizza slices, cutting lots and lots of little lines into it. If you've got little hands, you might need to ask someone to come and give you some help with that. And then I'm just going to cut each of those little slices out, like so. Going around, right around. Nearly there. There we go. And then the next bit is we're going to cut around our outside edge of our fox. Sometimes it's easier if you come from the other direction as well. So cutting around my ear, going nice and slowly so I don't cut anything off that I don't want to. Around the top of the head, going back in from the top. And then just about to finish off. There we go. Just going to clear away a little bit of my mess, give myself some room. There we go. Next step is we're going to take our cup and try it on for size. That worked pretty well. And what we're going to do on our cup, you'll see where these lines come down. I want you to draw. Actually, I might turn my cup a little bit. See where the join is? I might hide that join just a little bit. You can see I did it on this one too. Where the join was there, I've used that as one of my lines. So that's going to be that one there. But see where this one comes down? You're then going to draw a line going all the way to the nose. That. And that's obviously where my other one's going to be. And pop that out for the moment. And then what you're going to do is in here, between those two lines, is you're going to draw a little nose for your fox that we're going to paint in later. And you're also going to then draw a line. So you don't want it exactly halfway, maybe sort of about a little bit further down. You're going to draw a line going all the way across. That's going to be your mouth. And then once you've got that, so some little marks to the side, you're going to then draw a line all the way down the side of the mouth. Like that. And then the other side. That's just to be a bit of a guide for where we're going to cut. Okay. Alright, now the next bit is we're going to open up our mouth. We're cutting down the sides of our cup. So this one is a little bit tricky, so once again you might need to get someone to help you. Now I found it easier to put my cup like that and just put a little hole in it like we did before. Push it down, there we go, all the way through, and then start cutting. And then my hands were all out of the way while I did that. Back now on the other side. Cutting all the way. Now notice I stop when I get to the edge there. That way it's still together, but only just. Now, the next step is we're going to take our red cardboard and we're going to fold it. Like so. And then what you're going to do is pop that cardboard inside your mouth. Like so, push it right to the back. And then using your pencil, you're going to just draw around the shape there, making sure to get inside the mouth there. And then flip it over and do the same on the other side. Like so. Just make sure you get your edges there. Make sure you do that on both. move your cup out of the way. Now see, if you fold that out, that shows you the shape that your mouth's going to be. Now, similar to when we did the circle here, we're going to need to do it just slightly inside this one. So another line just inside. So that one we drew one inside, and we do the same this time. Just inside the line. Oops, a bit wonky there. And then a bit inside here. And that way we know it's going to fit perfectly. And then what we need is to create some little tabs. So if you just do some rectangles off each side there. Doesn't matter if they're not perfect, because we're going to be putting them on the inside, so you're not going to see them. And the next step is to cut it out. Around all our shapes. And like I said before, if you don't have any red cardboard or red paper at home, you could just use normal paper or cardboard, and you could paint it red after you've cut it all out. It's a bit hard if you tried to paint it once it's inside the mouth. Cutting around. Oops, my fox fell over. I think he wants to help out. There we go, almost done. Last little rectangle. Okay, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is, since I've got my pencil lines there, I'm actually going to flip it over and use this as the side now. But what we need to do is fold all of these little tabs down like that, and the other side. Fold, fold, fold. There we go. And then the next thing, you can see just there, I'm going to get my cup. And what I'm going to do is, before I even get ready, just going to try it, see how it fits. And you just want to be able to push it right in. Yeah, that should be pretty good. All right. So what I want to do now is take your glue, and we're just going to put little dabs of glue on each one. Oops, just fold that a little bit more. There we go. Little dabs of glue, not too much. It helps if you open the glue. Doesn't want to come out. Sometimes that happens. That's okay. Oh, there we go. Easy. I can just grab my paintbrush and dab it. So any sort of glue that you've got at home will work. There we go. Lots of glue evenly. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm now going to push that inside. And then just open it up just to have a little check to see if it's lined up. Looks pretty good. And then using a little bit of sticky tape or masking tape, we're just going to put some little bits there to hold everything in place for the moment, just while it dries. So when you're taping it, you're just going to put a little bit inside the mouth and a little bit on the outside, just like that. Just enough to hold it while it dries. Open your mouth. A little bit of tape. So you're going to do top and bottom. It's a little bit of a tricky shape to try and sit there and hold while it dries. There we go. Make sure it's in the right spot. A little bit more there. Open your mouth, Mr. Fox. And a little bit there. tend to put one just at the front as well, just to make sure it stays right up against that piece of cardboard. And that just pulls it together nicely. And a little bit on the bottom. So you don't want to use any tape that's really, really sticky because it's just there long enough to hold it. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to put that to the side while it dries. And then we're going to go to the next bit, is we're going to start our painting. So I'll get my brush again. Actually, I'll get a clean one. I'm going to put blue in my paint. And we're going to be mixing some orange. If you've got orange paint, you could use that. Or if you haven't, if you mix red and yellow together, that makes orange. So you don't want to use too much red. You go mixing, mixing, mixing. That's a nice orangey colour. If you wanted to change yours a little bit, you might do a different colour. You might want to make grey paint and make yours more like a wolf. Or if you happen to have a dog, if you don't want to do a fox, you could do different dog colours. It's up to you. And then we're just going to paint the inside part there. Nice and neatly. That's it. And we'll paint there. Now depending on what your paper plate's made out of, sometimes this one's quite thick cardboard and so it likes to soak in, so I'll have to use a fair bit of paint. But if your paper plate's a bit thinner, you might only need a little bit of paint. And we're leaving the little triangle out, so that's going to just stay white, so it's going to be the inside of our ears. There we go. Other side. Up into my ear there. It's a bit tricky trying to paint in the grooves. Oops, went over that a little bit. That's okay. Just even my shape up. Great. And then, if you take your mouth, the two lines that we drew, we're going to paint those orange as well. Just painting around the edge there too. Bit more paint. There we go. There we go. So that's all that done. So then you can wash your brush once you're finished. Washing, washing, washing. So the next step is once your paint's dry, then you can come back and I'll show you with this one, with your texter and draw all the way around everything. And then once you've done all your drawing, I'll show you the back of this one. You can see I've put lots of little bits of masking tape around the edges of my mouth. And then what you're going to do is slip it inside, but before you go and stick them down too tight, make sure you flip it over and see that the lines here line up with the face. And then push it in as far as it'll go, and then you can fold your tape down. So see how I'm making sure I get it right into the grooves there? Push it right in, and then you can push them down. Like so. You can see it's all taped up there. And there's your fox puppet. So you can see on my one I've added some extra dots down the side as well. You could add eyelashes if you want eyelashes. You could do lots of different things to your fox. And there you go. There's your puppet. Make sure you send us in some photos of your creations at the end of it. We'd love to see what you've done. Okay, see you next week.